So today we have a real opportunity to get a nice ride in on the FZR. The weather's supposed to be perfect, only about a 5% chance of rain. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s, so we want to get out there on the open road and cool off, actually, cool off. But there's a lot of things about this restoration. I've been working on this for 9 months now, on and off at the end here. Still have some little details to work on. Very excited about the way the bike turned out. And see, you never really know until the end of a project if it's going to be that at the end of it you say, and this is exactly what happens. Some people build a bike and make a wooden seat and something else and square hand grips, and it's a very cool looking bike, and then you go to ride it and you go, hey, I don't enjoy riding this. Or it's got a real rough suspension and your ass hurts after a half an hour. What has happened with this project, and it's a significant thing, I had ridden this bike for 6 years before I actually did this restoration. So I knew all the shortcomings, all of the things I wanted to upgrade. I knew the forks were bent, I upgraded them. I knew I didn't like the carbon windshield because I wanted to be able to shoot video through the windshield. I knew the brake disc had to be replaced, and thank you Vlad for getting me to brake disc. And I knew, and the paint, of course, I wanted the Kenny Roberts kind of a flavor paint job on it. Just because I'm an old nostalgic guy, I guess. So I was very disappointed that I never got to use the fairing that I bought because I bought the wrong one. My fault 100%. But then to go back, it made up for it in spades because the mirrors were so good. The mirrors have changed my enjoyment of the bike, because here's what would happen in the past. I'd be doing this. Every time I'd want to see is somebody behind me, or we're riding in a group and I have to never be out of sight of the guy that's behind me. And at the end of the day, I was wondering if I had a rubber band for a neck. With these mirrors, you sit bolt upright, look in the mirror, boop, done. And that's a significant thing. Now, another thing that really was just great about this project, just fabulous, the adjustable levers worked out perfectly. I did a little research on them. I made sure I got the right ones. It's always a problem just to get the right ones. I made a little video of installing them. Not a big deal, an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Those are things that it can go so wrong so fast, and a lot of times you don't realize what I call the rules of engagement of doing this kind of a restoration are. When I painted the rims black, I'm so glad I didn't make them gold. Karen steered me in that direction, several other people, and at the time I thought, yeah, but I like gold rims, and now that the bike is done and I see how it looks, and when I've done photo shoots with it, I've got about 400 pictures on my computer now of this. I'm so happy. The bottom line here is I'm so happy the way this project has worked out. Now what it also means is I'm at the point now that I don't have to rush. I can ride other bikes in the meantime, because as I'm waiting for brake lines, the steel brake lines. I haven't decided. There's several sources, several quality levels, and I haven't really made a decision yet. And by the way, it's a really tricky thing on an FZR, because there's a splitter and there's a switch for the brake light, and I have to account for everything here. And then I don't want to take the whole bike apart, take the brake lines off. Oh, I have the wrong ones. Oh. So anyway, the little brake reservoir worked out great. And I know if you've been, or if you go back, you obviously can go back. There's, I don't know, 230 or 40 videos so far, but every detail is covered. I tried not to skip over something because it used to make me crazy. I would watch somebody else do a job that all I want to see is how they get that tool into that crevice, and then they'd go and they get to that point and skip over it. You know, or you see here's another thing. You see something Bondo, not sanded, next thing it's in prime, next thing it's painted. I want to see how they did that. So It's just me. I'm just happy as can be the way this project has evolved. It's evolved, it's taken on a life of its own. We're in the 9th month. I probably will get to ride, you know, from this point on without hesitation. I can put it into the rotation. Everything about it has exceeded my wildest dream. Now, the last thing, the lowering links. I understand why they don't make lowering links for this bike. They're tricky. And what I thought at the very beginning, and I made a lowering link video, what I thought at the beginning, they were going to be very similar. Remember, these are geometric things, and it's hard. Even though I've done that work on model planes many times, I've figured out the ratios and the exponential and everything. On this bike, it's critical. So if you make lowering links, my feeling is go half of the thickness of the bolt, and you'll be about perfect. I went a little more. It was too far. I had to make a second set. No big deal. $10 at Lowe's for the material. And you can make them in an hour, hour and a half with a drill press. So when I look back at it, I look back at the day I started this and the day I'm pretty much, yeah, I'm riding the bike. So from this point on, I may change other things. I would love to find a clear windshield. Haven't found it yet. And because this is a custom fairing that isn't made for this bike, it's probably not going to happen. But Pete at Circle Cycle said he had one I could try. Haven't been able to get over there with the bike. See if it lines up even close. Only to clear so I can shoot video better. Right now it doesn't bother me that much anyway. But anyway, I wanted to share that because I know a lot of my friends and a lot of the people that, well, they've kind of latched onto these videos and you enjoy watching them and having your coffee or whatever. But whatever you do when you're watching them, drink beer, for instance. And keep drinking that beer. The videos look better as you get into the six-pack. But anyway, I wanted to share at the end of the project or near the end of the project. We hope by the end of the summer we'll be done with this project because we're going to move on to another project. But I would say that 99% of the things worked out to my total satisfaction. And I assume that right now I have a bike that I'm going to be 74 years old soon. This bike will outlive me. When I die, somebody will inherit this bike. And I hope you enjoy it. That's all I can say. I have enjoyed it. And thank you, Luciano, who originally found this. It was a wrecked bike. Boy, was it a mess when we bought it. And over the years it became the Ferrari bike, then it became the FZR bike, then it became this bike. It was a track bike, it was a street bike, I had several mishaps with it, that stupid things that happened in the course of doing it. The only thing that's ever been a real pain in the neck with this bike was when you have to do some of the maintenance, like changing the plugs. It's a little labor intensive to change the plugs. But so are some of the other bikes, so it's no different, no better or worse. And it is a historic bike. It's registered for life, never has to be registered again, and it's free. It's a free motorcycle for as long as I live or as long as I continue riding. And then some other lucky recipient can, you know, maybe I'll get $1,000 for it when I sell it. Who knows? Anyway, I wanted to end this video with a couple of little pictures that I've taken just to share pictures. And say that we're going to be riding in the next couple days. Again, I'm going to try to get a little ride today, of course, but it's a short ride. And the next time I get to ride, we'll shoot some ride videos. It should be a lot of fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.